merely the opener of the ball game. Don't get it twisted, he said, coming off a nice little finish there in Nashville. I mentioned it at the top. 16 of the last 17 outings for him in Nashville went scoreless.
And if you're just tuning in right now, the plan is for Liam Hendriks to probably just go an inning. Daniel Migden has been warming up. He is out in the bullpen, and we expect to see Daniel Migden come in the second inning and then just go as long as he can.
That's right, and I like what you see already from Liam Hendriks. Pitch 197 right out of the gate, Kipe. We mentioned it, the velocity circled back around and has rejoined Liam Hendriks.
Haniger hits it on the ground to Marcus Semien, flips it across, 1 out. Here's the A's defense behind Liam Hendriks. It'll be Chad Pinder. He's going to get the start in left field. Remember, there's a left-hander pitching tonight for the Mariners. Laureano's in center, Piscotty's in right, Chapman, Semien, Lowry, and Canna around the infield, and Jonathan Lucroy is the catcher. So 1 away, and here is Gene Segura back in the lineup after missing the first 2 games of the series. First pitch to Segura is right in there for a strike. That's Adrian Johnson calling balls and strikes tonight. Corey Blazer's at first, Trip Gibson's at second, and that's Brian Gorman, the crew chief. He's at third. 0-1 to Segura, hitting .317. And he's quickly behind in the count. 0-2. Segura fouled the ball off his foot, right?
Yeah.
And he was originally in the lineup on Thursday night, but then taken out, and he missed last night as well. So back in there tonight.
Well, I don't think people have a real good understanding of how bad that can hurt. As Liam Hendriks, looks like he got caught up on the dirt on the way down the slope there. I'm sure Dave Renetti is already looking for the sniper. Take a look there. Just a little bit of a stutter step on the backside from Liam, but you know what? The athleticism on display. You gotta hope and pray that ball gets somewhere near home plate when that happens.
0-2 pitch. No swing. Very close.
Take a look from the side. Hit machine just does hold up.
Pitch Cast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. And that's up the middle, right past Liam Hendriks. And Gene Segura has a 1-out single.
You're going to get a steady diet of fastballs and sliders from Liam, whether it's 1 inning or any sort of extended body of work, and that's what he got here. Slider down and away, not a terrible pitch. Well, the 2 here, you can see Segura. Little animation on that.
Well, maybe he's asking the bat flip guy, how did he do? Cannon.
Scale of 1 to 10. What do you got?
Here's Cano. First pitch to Robinson Cano is sliced down the left field line. Foul. Angels and Astros, bottom of the 6th from Houston. The Angels 3 and the Astros 2. Alex Bregman just hit a solo home run for the Astros to close that gap. So, as we always do, we'll keep a very close eye on that game. And the Angels have won the first 2 games of that series. Cano drives one toward left, but playable for Pinder. Pinder's got it. So 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. And tonight, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball. It's our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
Getting some of that right now out of Liam.
Well, that was sort of the report, right? That he was throwing a little bit harder, and I think the A's are thinking, listen, he's throwing the ball well. And if he's got a couple ticks up in velocity, that he can use for 1 inning.
Let's go.
And that gets him to 96, 97.
Yeah. Have at it.
1 inning, let's go.
That's it. That's it.
And I think the point, and there's a lot of different reasons for the A's doing this, but the point is he's throwing the ball well. He's a veteran. Get him up here. If he can give us that 1 inning, it's 3 outs closer to 27.
You're shaving innings off the back end of the ball game.
And this is not May and June now. I mean, after tonight, the A's have 25 games left.
Right.
You do what you have to do each and every game.
I mean,
if you have to slice it up like this for tonight, and maybe a week from now you do it again, then that's what you do.
If you're looking to get rest in certain places, this is an opportunity to do so. You've got some off days coming up. But to your point, you've got a veteran arm here who's not worried about a disruption in routine.
He's not nervous.
He's not nervous. And all reports, by all accounts, as I mentioned, talking to Rick Rodriguez, the outstanding AAA pitching coach in Nashville, said Liam Hendricks is doing what we're seeing right now, coming after guys.
Bumpy on the bump. A's pitchers to make a start this season. Quite a list. My math tells me 14.
That's it. One behind, I believe, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Cruz pops it up. Shallow center. Laureano coming in, looking up into the sunshine. He's got it. So Liam Hendricks, he does his thing. 11 pitches, gets out of the first. Mariners do not score. Southwest Airlines, Simeon, Chapman, Lowry, Davis, Piscotty, Pinder, Laureano, Canna, and Lucroy.
Taking on the southpaw, the big maple, James Paxton, looking to rebound after taking the shot off the left forearm last time around at the Coliseum from Jed Lowry. He's throwing the ball exceptionally well for the Seattle Mariners over the course of the season. Look at those numbers, 10-5 with a ERA just north of 3.5.
So Paxton to face Marcus Simeon here in the bottom of the first inning. Chapman to follow, and then Lowry.
You're going to see fastball, curveball from James Paxton. Utilizes the slider as well. Not so much on the change up front. Commands the fastball. 70% strikes with the heater on the season. For context, league average Kuip right around 65, so slightly above average. But it's a key component to his success and the way he goes about his business. Likes to pitch up with the fastball. See the offering from Simeon on the heater down, but he also spins that big curveball off of that fastball. Slider down and away to the lefties, back foot to the righties.
Uses his fastball 78% of the time. And he has a good one. Falls behind Marcus Semien 3-1. Swing and a miss, and now it's 3-2. Marcus Semien has hit a pair of leadoff home runs in his career against James Paxton last September, and then this shot on the 14th of August. So that was, of course, the start that Paxton got hurt. He only faced 3 batters. Semien hit that home run. 2 batters later was Jed Lowry, and he hit that line drive off his forearm.
Semien, no stranger to the top of the lineup against the lefties. For that reason, he's got some sock. He's not your prototypical leadoff hitter.
Just a little bit high, and it's a leadoff walk for Marcus Semien. Here's the Mariners defense. Span, Haniger, and Gamble in the outfield. Seager, Segura, Cano, and Healy on the infield. And Mike Zunino is the catcher. So D. Gordon is, what do you want to say, the odd man out tonight a little bit?
Yeah, maybe a little breather for D.
Yep. See the struggles for the Mariners, 20-29 since they had an 8-game winning streak in June, and this is a huge series for both these teams, maybe even a little bigger for the Seattle Mariners, just because they're behind the A's in the standings. The Mariners are 5.5 games behind the Athletics in the standings, obviously, for both the division and that second wild card spot. And I think when you look at the standings and where we're at in the season, September 1st, and you see a 5.5 game deficit, I think the A's are in a spot now where, and I don't think this is going to happen, but if they had a tough week,
right,
they would still be fine.
Sure.
Right.
And that's what this series represents.
Exactly. But the Mariners, on the other hand, they can't afford a tough week.
No.
They cannot afford a slip up at all.
Especially against the Oakland A's.
Absolutely. So Chapman tried to hold up, couldn't do it.
We talked about the fastball up in the zone, utilizing that curveball off of it. And that's what you get here. Little downer action on the bender. And Adrian's going to make the call himself from behind the dish.
First pitch strike to Jed Lowry.
But you're right, Kite. You've got to, right now, and you hate to use the term make or break for a club right now, but I mean, this very well could be make or break for the Seattle Mariners if they're unable to put a couple wins together and get out of here.
Well, the math is simple. Let's just say the A's win the next 2 games in this series. It's a 7.5 game deficit. Daniel Migden is getting himself ready, as we predicted he would. See what happens with Liam Hendricks. So 1-2 the count to Lowry, with Chris Davis waiting in the on-deck circle.
Well, and at this rate right now, Kite, for Daniel Migden to not be throwing leads me to believe that Liam Hendricks very well may run out there again and just see what they can get out of Liam. Again, I believe you say 11 pitch inning.
I think he had an 11 pitch inning, Liam Hendricks. Swing and a miss, 96 miles an hour. 12 pitches, excuse me, for Liam Hendricks.
Oh, another punch out dialed up by James Paxton. Just overpowers Lowry in the zone with the heater. And that's 96, 97 from the left side. Fuzzy, as I like to say.
First pitch is in there, first strike. Strikeout total now at 178. And Paxton, he's done that in 140 innings.
Yeah.
Been on the disabled list twice this year. Swing and a miss. Scrambled after it by Mike Zanino. Daniel Migden sitting down. That may tell you that the A's will try to get another inning out of Liam Hendriks.
Well, that's telling you that they will be getting another inning out of Liam Hendriks, no doubt.
Oh, 2 pitch to Chris Davis is high. So James Paxton earlier this year was on the disabled list in July with lower back inflammation. And then again with the ball that Lowry hit. Spent some time on the disabled list for that. Mariners just having a tough time keeping James Paxton healthy.
Let's
when he is, I mean, I think he's a guy who can be an ace.
He's got top 10 stuff.
Absolutely.
Top 10 stuff in the league, in my opinion, especially from the left side.
And with Felix Hernandez kind of going in a different direction, they need a guy.
Absolutely right.
Paxton, 2014, time on the DL. 2015, a lot of time in the DL. 16, DL. 17, DL twice. This year, DL twice. The 2-2 pitch is popped up. That's going to be Robinson Cano who makes the catch. So the A's got a leadoff walk. Nothing else. Second inning coming up.
California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Liam Hendriks is indeed back out there for his second inning of work. He'll face Span, Healy, and Seager.
And you know, I think with this approach type, we're going to see this as well, where you might have it out of the gate penciled in for 1. Just give us 3 outs. But if you have an extremely clean and efficient inning,
stuff looks good.
Hasn't been taxing, not as laborious as one might anticipate. Run him back out there.
Sure.
Let's keep it rolling. Then if we start to get some traffic, we assess, we know who we've got in the wings, ready to roll. So to the point here, you've seen Liam go 3 balls out of the gate. Let's say he gets Span. He's bought himself another hitter. Well, if that doesn't continue to trend in that direction, now you go to the reinforcements.
3-0 pitches in for a strike to Denard Span, hitting .274, 10 home runs, 54 RBIs. And that misses outside, so that's a leadoff walk. And with that, let's check in with Cara for the first time.
Ooh. Good evening, guys. A lot of new faces joined the A's today, including right-handed pitcher Corey Guerin. Let's hear what the right-hander had to say about joining the Athletics.
This team's really special. You know, I'm excited to get to be a part of it every day and get to see, you know, these guys go to work. But you just look at the names and, you know, how these guys are pitching. It's really impressive. So, you know, I'm thankful to be here. Really excited to be a part of that.
He went on to add that he feels good, he likes the way he's pitching, and he told Bob Melvin, "I'm happy to do whatever you need." He and his wife are also thrilled to be back in Northern California after spending a few seasons with the San Francisco Giants. They love this area, they call it home. And you know, Dallas, I think he might give you a little run for your money in the hair department. The guy's got some long locks going on.
I tell you, he's got some good flow. He's got some quality flow. Take a look at this play here by Mark Canha. And Span just gets the right foot in very quick. Thought they might have had him. Dave Canha might be able to get that tag down on the right thigh of Span. He might have had an opportunity.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. Span dives back that time, which is probably the smart thing to do.
But you know what? I think Corey Guerin, he's probably got a little more hair in all the right places on his head than I do.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, Kite.
You're a handsome man, Dallas. Don't you worry.
Appreciate that.
In first strike. Corey Guerin had a good year with the Giants last year and not as good this year, but then when he went to Texas, he pitched pretty well for the Rangers, and
sure,
he was there maybe a couple months. But he'll spend the final month of this season with the Athletics.
Well, I think as bullpen arms go, what you can start to anticipate is guys understanding that, you know what, you might start the season in one place, but as sought after as the late inning commodities are, there's a solid chance if your team isn't competing, you very well could be on the move. Another good slider here from Hendricks. It's only the second one he's thrown tonight.
Oh, 2 pitch to Ryan Healy. Here it is. High fastball fouled straight back. So, well, we mentioned Corey Guerin, but these are the other players that were added to the active roster today, and mostly familiar names, but a left-hander by the name of Dean Kiekhaefer. Bo Taylor, a left-handed hitting catcher. Matt Joyce is back, so that's good news. Of course, Hatcher and Hendricks and Barreto and Danny Coulomb. So that is the reinforcements, as we like to say, that are up. Left center field, that's going to be a hit. Span round second and stops. So a walk and a single for Seattle here in the second inning against Liam Hendricks.
Well, this slider trying to make its way down and out, away from the barrel, away from damage of Ryan Healy. Sort of just spun up top of the zone. See Laureano, nice strong throw back in from the outfield.
So here's Kyle Seager.
With the traffic on first and second, that'll get the lefty Danny Coulomb. Get him cranking down in the bullpen, former Texas Tech Red Raider.
How'd they do today?
I'd rather not talk about it.
I know it sounds like I'm busting your chops, but it's a legitimate question. How did they do today?
Yeah, 47-27.
At the hands of
Ole Miss. Rebels got it. A lot of ball game left, Kite.
You'll get them next Saturday. 1-0 the count to Seager. 20 homers, 72 RBIs. Very low batting average for Seager. He's .218.
But the power and production
still there. Seager in this series is 1 for 7. Angels still leading the Astros 3-2. That game now in the top of the 8th inning in Houston. Seager with a good take, and now it's 2-1. So 12 pitches in the first inning and 12 here in the second inning. Hendricks doesn't have anybody out. Laureano's going to back up. He sets up. He's got it. And Denard Span, that surprised me a little bit. Well, I know Laureano's got a great arm, but Span didn't even. I don't think there was ever an intention to go.
It's in the mechanics for Laureano out in center field, because there's a difference between drifting to the ball and then being able to get behind the ball and work through it towards your target, and that's what Laureano does. You see, he gets behind the baseball, turns his hips, is able to work through the ball towards third base, makes a nice strong throw, and as fast and as good of a base runner as Denard Span is, there's just no competing with a fundamentally and a mechanically sound play on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what we just got from Laureano.
I say he's got to go. Seriously, Span. You're 5.5 games out of a playoff spot. I think he's got to go.
Take a look, Kipe. See how he's behind the baseball here? He has turned his hips. He makes that jab step, and in one foul swoop, changes direction, momentum through the ball. The book is out, Kipe. Could be a dead duck out there at the hands of Laureano.
So 1-1 the count to Mike Zunino. Zunino 18 home runs. He's got 40 RBIs. 11 doubles for the Mariners catcher. And now 2-1. So Pagan now up, and with a left-handed hitter in Ben Gamble, we may see Colomb.
Well, there's a good chance you might see Colomb, and if they're unable to roll up a 2-ball, you very well may get Pagan. This is all part of matching up. Good down angle on the heater. Liam.
Span at second, Healy at first. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 97 miles an hour. And here comes Bob Melvin. So that's going to be it for Liam Hendricks. He's going to go an inning and 2/3. He's going to throw 30 pitches. And with Gamble, the left-handed hitter, coming up, it will be Danny Coulombe. And it's a very simple job for Danny Coulombe. You got to get Gamble. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Painter's Paint Store.
So the A's have a new pitcher, Danny Coulombe. He comes on with 2 on and 2 out. So 30 pitches for Liam Hendriks in an inning and 2/3. So he did his thing, and now he's going to sit back and enjoy the rest of the ball game. Span at second, Healy at first. Ben Gamble hitting .284, a homer and 14 RBIs.
Lefty Coulombe up from Nashville. Allowed just 1 run in 8 appearances in the month of August. Nashville, sub-1 ERA.
And Gamble rips one deep right field. Nobody's going to get it. Bangs off the wall. 1 run's going to score. They're going to wave home Healy. The throw to the plate is not in time, and it's a 2-run double for Ben Gamble. So with that, Bob Melvin up out of the dugout. And we will have another pitching change.
Comes in trying to spin the breaking ball for strike 1. Wasn't able to execute. Comes back with heater to even the count up. And Ben Gamble foot down on time and ready to rock. Just about 15 or so feet away from a long ball.
So we'll be back. Mariners jump out on top 2-0. Pagan comes in to face Mitch Haniger. Haniger grounded out to short to open up the ball game. First pitch is just a touch low to Haniger. Haniger a .288 batting average with runners in scoring position this year. So just slightly better than his overall batting average.
Not bad.
Fouled straight back to Haniger. You got a pitch to hit there. 41 hits in the month of August for Mitch Haniger. He's the most in the American League.
He's also riding a nice little hit streak right now.
Yeah, what is he sitting on? 12?
12 game hit streak. That's high water mark in the MLB.
He's 3 for 11 in this series with a home run. Waits on that one. It drops low.
Let's take you back to Thursday against Montas. Breaking ball up. Haniger all over it. A nice season for Haniger.
Yep.
All-star nod.
Absolutely. Mariners won that game on Thursday 7-1. A's won last night 7-5. Hustling over is Mark Canha. And Canha with room, and he makes the catch. So Pagan gets the big out, but Ben Gamble gets the big hit. 2-0 Mariners.
Presented by 7-Up. As part of the celebration planned for Wednesday, September 5th, you can get your piece of history by grabbing tickets at athletics.com/pinstripes. First 15,000 through the gate get this giveaway, so don't miss out on history by grabbing your tickets at athletics.com/pinstripes today.
Stephen Piscotty to lead it off in the bottom of the second. Pinder to follow, and then Laureano against James Paxton. Mariners with a 2-0 lead. That good fastball looks like, and it's still very early, but it looks like Paxton has a pretty good fastball tonight.
Well, that's what he likes to pitch off of. Uses it a lot.
And that's going to hurt.
That just never feels good. Guy throwing 93, 95.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
Right off the instep. Take a listen. Oh. Just that thud.
Piscotty will do his best to shake it off.
And this is where I say I know it's mean, nasty, and ugly, but 0-2, you got a hitter banged up on the front foot. Might be time to spin off speed just to catch him out front on that front foot. Speaking of putting a hurting on it, Piscotty with the 2-iron.
a miss. Ball scoots away from Zunino. His throw to first. Down the right field line. Backing it up is Gamble. So Piscotty's going to be aboard.
It's a great effort by Piscotty. We all just saw what he went through, taking that ball off the foot. A slider down and in, swing through. Zunino unable to keep it in front. Little ricochet action. And you can see Piscotty doing his level best to get down the line, hard 90 as much as he can. Zunino unable to plant off the back foot a little bit. Airmails it.
Pinder, right center field. Nobody's going to get it. Piscotty digging for third. Matt Williams taking a look. He's going to hold him up. So the A's will have second and third and nobody out.
Well, Pinder swipes right on a first pitch heater. He liked it. No need to wait around. Center cut, stay inside. Little fillet out to right center. And wouldn't you know it, Stephen Piscotty on back-to-back pitches has got to get on his horse and ride. But the big Marine, Matt Williams, does a good job of holding him up. No need to stretch it out. And see Piscotty sort of grimacing as he's coming around third.
Here's Ramon Laureano. Great opportunity for the A's. Laureano, 317 with 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, playing in his 24th game.
Type hitting .412 with runners in scoring position.
Chase is there just a little bit, 1-1 to count.
Bad intentions with that swing there. Four knocks in his last 5 appearances with men in scoring position. And you can see there. Looking to do damage.
Did it again and missed it. 95, that one even maybe up a little bit more. He may climb there again.
Well, and that's what I was just going to say, Kite. This could be an instance we see Paxton try to work that meat ladder higher than high here on the third. If not, maybe it's a back foot breaker after changing eye level.
Strike 3 called, and he did go up there, and he got the call at the top of the strike zone.
Well, that's a low-risk, high-reward pitch in the mind of James Paxton. He's looking to go up, maybe get Laureano to lay off on it so he can work off of that fastball and go to the back foot slider, but he catches the top of the zone. And that's what I mean by low-risk, high-reward. Maybe worst-case scenario, Laureano takes it and it's a ball. Best-case scenario.
Canna hits it hard. It's going to get a run home as Cano grabs it. Piscotty comes in to score, so the A's cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Give Canna the RBI.
It's all about picking your teammates up. And Laureano unable to come through with a productive out. Mark Canna fastball up. Hits it on the screws. Right at a guy like Pinder, excuse me, Piscotty. Hustling on contact.
So 2 outs. Pinder stayed at second, and here's Jonathan Lucroy. First pitch on the inside corner strike. Lucroy at 243. He's got 3 home runs, and he's got 45 runs batted in. He is hitless in this series, 0 for 7. Fastball to hit.
Well, you're going to get the heater from Paxton early. The Oakland A's are figuring there's no need to wait around. We don't want to get to that curveball. No need to see that slider with 2 strikes. Fastball is pretty good hitting.
Daniel Migden is ready to go. Down toward the bullpen foul.
Atta baby Ben.
Ben's good. He's good.
He knows how to play to the crowd.
Yeah.
He knows how to play to the crowd. He's a pro.
Lucroy fouls that one back, fights off a high fastball.
Well, this is what makes Paxton so tough, right? We just saw him dispose of Laureano with the fastball up inner third late. Lucroy understands I've got to battle, got to protect on the heater. Could be expansion time.
And he goes down in the dirt, and Lucroy strikes out. A's get a run. Third inning coming up. 2-1, Mariners lead. Ball experts. So, as predicted, Daniel Migden comes in as he gets his warm-up tosses in. We're pleased to be joined in the booth by A's president Dave Kaval, who has spent a lot of time, not just recently, but really in the last, what, 6 months or so in the state capital of Sacramento?
Absolutely.
All right, so tell us about this, the Howard Terminal Ballpark bill.
Yes.
This is what you're working on. It's in legislature. Tell us what that bill is all about and where it is at.
Well, we got a big win last night. We got through the California State Assembly and Senate, and so it's sitting on the governor's desk ready for signature, which is huge.
Okay.
And this bill helps us, especially at the Howard Terminal site, avoid lawsuits and make sure we can make the 2023 opening date for a new ballpark.
I got you. So you're really, layman's terms, you're protecting yourself here.
Yeah, and
with a little help from
other
the state.
stadiums like, you know, the Warriors, their arena in San Francisco, or the Kings in Sacramento had similar legislation. Okay. It was really critical for them to stay on track and hit their deadlines. And for us to get the entire East Bay delegation and the A's supporting it and making sure it passes was huge for us.
So once it gets to the governor's desk, that's the final step, right?
That's it.
Okay.
So he's 30 days to sign it or not sign it. And, you know, obviously he was formerly the mayor of our great city. And so, you know, we're feeling pretty good about that, and that'll be a great step for us.
So Jerry needs to get this done.
Hey, that's what they're saying. Yes, exactly. I'm not going to say anything different.
So realistically, this is most importantly about understanding that you're putting in place not only protection for the organization, but twofold, the organization and the city, so that moving forward there's a symbiotic relationship here.
And we also made sure that the state and everyone knew that we were going to build a great sustainable ballpark.
Right.
You know, a LEED Gold ballpark that has greenhouse gas neutrality, things like that are very, you know, basically environmentally sustainable.
Sure.
That's a critical part of our ballpark effort, and this bill ensures that.
Laureano coming in. Laureano is going to track it down. So it also, spending time in Sacramento, it also gave you an opportunity to say, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
This is why it's going to check off a lot of good things, and you could explain what the ballpark's going to be all about to important people in the state.
Well, yeah, because this is a project that obviously is good for Oakland, but it's the entire region and the state to make sure that the A's are thriving here in Oakland for many generations. And so they're all supportive of that. The jobs that come from it, the economic development, billions of dollars in economic vitality. And so for us, that was an important piece of the puzzle in a great way and outcome of the bill.
So we like to think that when you go up to Sacramento and you're dealing with these people, that everybody's for this. Is there people that are against it?
Well, they got Dodgers fans there.
Oh.
And that's the problem. Oh. So I was in the committee meeting.
Problem?
Well, this is the thing. I'm in the committee meeting. I go to the committee meeting last night at like 10:45, this final vote we had to get. And I walk in, and the chair actually had a Dodgers mug. I was like, that's not a good sign.
They don't have anything against us, do they?
That's not a good sign. I was like, hey, you guys got us in '88. I mean, come on, don't get me again.
Turn the page.
Turn the page. That's what I said. Turn the page. You know. So we got the vote. We got a 6-2 vote through the committee. Yeah, so that was fine.
Well, I feel like we get them out for A's All Access, and we could sway some minds.
We might have to. We might have to if that's what it takes. Get them out to the treehouse. You know?
Now, what has been some of the more intriguing questions, I guess, that you have encountered as you're sitting down with these folks behind closed doors? You're meeting with the authoritative positions, trying to do your level best to get this thing done. What have been some of the more intriguing questions about this process, I think, that you have encountered?
Well, we're getting a lot of questions about, beyond a ballpark, what does this mean for Oakland?
Sure.
And that's things like jobs and affordable housing and community benefits. And that's going to be an important part of our project, to make sure we have all those things, that it helps, not only A's fans, but all the citizens of Oakland.
Well, I think that's the most important part about this plight, is for folks to understand. This isn't just about brick and mortar ballpark. This is about creating a sense of community, a sense of lifestyle in this area that has been so rich in tradition for so long. And I think everybody understanding how important this organization has been to this community, everybody on the whole would love to see that revitalized.
Yeah, and it's all privately financed.
Right.
And so, those opportunities don't always exist for communities. And so there's just a great alignment amongst, our group, obviously the politicians and elected leaders and the community to have a successful project.
Well, I have to put you on the spot then. If it's the Howard Terminal Ballpark bill, does that mean you are leaning toward Howard Terminal?
No.
Okay.
We're looking. We're
fair question.
Yeah,
right?
Fair question.
Okay.
And the reason it's just for Howard Terminal is that this site where we are right now already went through an environmental impact report, so it doesn't need any of this type of kind of legal help. And so that's why it's just focused there. But no, we're parallel processing both sites. As you know, we still have a standing offer to the city and county to buy this wonderful location where we are right now for $137 million.
Okay, where does that stand then? I mean, you made the offer. Has there been negotiation?
There have.
Okay.
There's been conversations, and that's accelerating in a positive way. And we're hopeful that we can get to an economic deal by the end of the year, where we can understand the cost of the land in both places.
Sure.
Because that's going to be one of your biggest costs, other than construction, which is basically the same. And so that's going to be really important to get to a decision point, and so we can move forward to the next stage.
Well, that's my next question. Let's say you guys come to terms to purchase this land here. Do you then, you being the A's organization, do you guys have to make a decision then, say, all right, we have this land. Now we got to decide, do we do it here or do we do Howard Terminal?
Well, and also,
because I mean, if you own the land, that has to make this site more attractive, right?
If we can get to that deal, obviously that's a critical thing, to make sure that we can consummate that with both sides. But yes, of course, if we got to that point, that would mean a lot for actually building at this location and actually, creating a ballpark here at the Coliseum, which I think can be amazing. There's a lot of reasons why this is a great site. There's a lot of reasons why the Howard Terminal site. I think the most important thing is we have two great options in Oakland.
Well, that's
you need options, because you never know. We saw with Peralta. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You got to learn from that. And I think this is an important step in that next phase.
That's kind of what I'm taking away from this right now, is with this bill having passed and now sitting on the governor's desk, and understanding that there is a offer in place right now, and as you have just alluded to, negotiations as they are moving in a positive direction.
That's right.
So for the fan base, I think ultimately the take-home message is the ball is rolling. The ball is rolling in the right direction. And there's a lot of positivity on the horizon right now.
Yeah, and we're building on the momentum and the success of things like getting the bill passed and bringing in a new architect with Bjarke Ingels Group, who's a world-class designer. All these things together are showing people that obviously we're super serious about opening this ballpark by 2023, what it can do for our organization on and off the field.
Well, does the success that the team is having this year, they're a fun team. They got a really good chance to go to the postseason. The future looks bright. How much does that come into play with these things that you're trying to work on?
They're critical because I think people realize the impact that this team can have on the community. Not even just entertainment. I mean, it's quality of life.
Sure.
It's bringing families together, bringing people across socioeconomic lines here to the Coliseum or to our new ballpark. And then I think with the other two teams leaving, the Warriors and the Raiders, I think that's really heightened the feeling of how important this big decision is and why everyone has to work together to make sure.
Well, sort of a play on that. You never know what you had until it's gone. You don't know what you have until you've lost it. And when you find yourself looking around the room and you're the last man standing here, I think the community sort of can sense that. They can feel that. You know, I think the football team here in town is not really endearing themselves.
Yeah, they had an interesting morning.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, it never hurts to try to sell somebody on something when your team is a game and a half out of first place.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is the ballpark is the critical way to keep a team like this together because it provides new revenue streams. It allows us to have these young players with us for a long period of time to have potentially their entire careers here. And that's, I think, a really important thing for our long-term success.
Well, it's a home in more than one sense. It's a home for the fans. It's a home for the organization. But ultimately, you're creating a home for the players to be able to stay.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
It's no longer rental sort of approach.
Yeah, and it's long-term, and, you know, those are going to be the teams that win more world championships. That's the critical nature of that.
All right, Dave, so then what's next? We like to we want time frames. We want, when's this going to happen? So you get the bill passed. Let's say the governor signs it, which we think he will.
Yep.
Can you give us a month when things may really start to roll?
Well, we've set this deadline, and we've had it for a year, that we want an economic deal in place by the end of the year. So that's either a deal on an option on the port property, or it's a deal here, you know, buying this property and coming up with a deal with the city and the county. And so that's really the next focus right now, and we're doing everything we can to accelerate those conversations and negotiations because we want to make that 2023 date, and we're going to need to be able to hit that deadline to do that.
So by the time the ball drops this year, come the 31st of December, we'll have a really good idea of where we're headed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's great news.
And then the other big thing is the design work that Bjarke Ingels Group is doing. That's happening in parallel, and you know, people should, you know, be excited about seeing some designs and some of you know, potentially a ballpark at both sites and how it could, you know, lay out, and you know, a new vision for a 21st century ballpark. That's going to be awesome.
And now, where are we at in that process? How close or how far away do you think we are from being able to give the fans a little something to chew on, a little something to look forward to at either site?
That's also, you know, before the end of the year.
Okay.
And so, you know, we're working on a process with them to, you know, put that together. And that's going to be really important to make sure people, first of all, have given us input. We had an amazing, like, half-day event here at the Coliseum last Saturday. All the local folks here in East Oakland came out, the community groups, the business leaders, to discuss the future of this site. You know, if we build a ballpark here, what should be built around it?
Right.
What are the types of things? You know, could there be new job development, an incubator, like all these different ideas, a convention center? People had all sorts of great ideas, and our architects were there, our design team was there to lay that out in a way that makes sense. So that's very, very important.
Are the architects at this point, and obviously they're just starting, but are they drawing up designs for both sites?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We have a full design team, both site planning and ballpark on both areas. Yes, exactly. And they've actually given us the first presentation of the site plan. We're going to be back in New York, the team in mid-September, to see their second round and their first round on the ballpark design. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
Very cool.
We're going to visit some ballparks with them to kind of show them like what we're thinking from our perspective. Wrigley and Fenway, I think, have the real ethos and experience that we want to almost like bottle it.
Sure.
And then put Oakland's twist on it. And like, if we could create that, I think it'd be a huge success.
And you are still thinking very small, right, as far as capacity goes. I mean,
Intimate,
that's something
kind of like we did with the soccer stadium in San Jose. Keep it small. You want to be focused, like not a bad seat in the house. 34,000 is the number we're really looking at. I think it could be really special and somewhere that people hopefully will travel in to see it. Absolutely. Because it'll be really unique.
Well, I can speak to some of the reception that thought has created, and the fans are very excited about that idea of being, as you said, intimate and not having to pick a good seat because there's just not a bad one around.
Yep.
I think that has been something the fans have really latched onto and have really been excited about, on top of the notion that these ballparks that we're thinking about today are no longer just a place to play a game. As you mentioned, Dave, these are places where families can come out and create memories over the course of a summer and, as we are hoping, into a fall.
Absolutely. And we want more spaces like the Treehouse or Championship Plaza with views of the field, kind of like what they've done at Petco. There's a lot of areas like that I've seen around baseball that we want to incorporate.
That's the thing, right?
That's
to be able to hang out.
Especially for millennials.
Have you seen what they did in Cleveland?
Of course,
out in right
the
field.
corner. It's amazing.
Great.
Yeah, I love it.
And they knocked off how many 6,000-7,000 seats.
Yeah.
And now it's just an open area, and it's the first place crowded before the game even starts.
Exactly.
And so
cool. we want to have, like the Treehouse, like the corner, areas like that in different places that people can have different experiences at each game.
Center field, that's a base hit. Robinson Cano's going to stop. Now Laureano kicks it in center field, and that's going to allow Cano to score. So Cano was not going to score till Laureano misplayed it. So it'll be a single and an E8 and no RBI. But a run nonetheless for the Mariners.
Well, Mingman and Span in a battle here, and Mingman goes up top with a fastball, little two-seam action. Doesn't quite get far enough away. Span's able to get to it, but you can see here Laureano setting himself up to make a strong throw in to the infield, unable to corral it cleanly. And that does allow Cano eventually to check up and come around third and score.
So first and third, still only one out for Ryan Healy as we continue our conversation with A's president Dave Kaval. Well, we are all still amazed at how you take the requests from the fans, and you've done it really from day one. And we were thinking, can he keep this up? Can he keep taking care of it? And
we have
and
great fans
with
great ideas. And, even today, in section 121, people are like, hey, the concourse gets so crowded. So we put up some new, kind of barriers and kind of change the line around. And it actually, I think it might be working. I don't know. I'm talking to David Renetti, who runs operations here.
There you go.
And so we're trying some new things all the time. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. But nonetheless, the most important thing is we're responsive.
Do you find now that the communication between yourself and the fan base has sort of picked up steam and really started to focus centrally on some things that you maybe didn't really even see coming initially as you started making yourself as available and as transparent as you have? Are you finding now that the fans are really focusing in on certain things?
It's a mix. It can be everything from a game day improvement to a player-related piece.
Runners coming home. He's going to score on a ball that somehow dropped in shallow right field, and now the Mariners lead 4-1.
This is one of those tough tweeners here, relying on communication between 2-3 guys at a time. Jed Lowry with his back to the infield. Tucks his head, tries to pick the ball up and run to a spot. Ends up backpedaling just off the glove of Lowry. You can see Nelly waiting, kind of hanging out. Once he sees that ball drop, takes off.
So a couple of runs in here for the Mariners. Runners at first and second for Kyle Seager. Seager hit a fly ball to center field in the second inning. And on the lines of, it's kind of a equal question to Dallas. There's still those A's fans who, from years past, are mad. They don't want to come back. They don't like the players leaving. They're not happy with the way things were. Do you feel like you're starting to get through to that group of people?
Well, I think if you come out to the ballpark or you talk to fans, there's so many people having a great time here, and I think we just want to keep building on that.
Absolutely. Runners are going to hold it again. The ball is loose, and now Span's going to come in and he's going to score. So a very sloppy inning by the Athletics, and it's costing them. It's now 5-1.
Well, it's little things like taking care of the baseball here. You're going to give up the knocks. That kind of stuff is going to happen. It's the little things. And here, Piscotty fields the ball cleanly off the wall, coming in. Talk about hitting a cutoff man. Just doing the little things right, and this is Span doing the little things right on the other side. Slow down, chop, get a read, and you're aggressive in decision making. And that finds the Mariners up 4.
Another ball hit to shallow center, and again Laureano has to come a long way, and he makes the catch. So Zunino is retired. That's the second out here in what has been a difficult inning, with the Mariners scoring 3 times.
See Laureano tracking. See him call for the ball. I got it. I got it. 2 hands. Got to make sure.
Hey, it's an out. It's an out.
We'll take it.
And the box score is just an out.
We don't need to write ice cream cone or anything.
No one knows anything about it.
First pitch to Gamble is a strike. Well, before we head off to break with Corey Guerin warming up, just want to wish you the best of luck with the stadium situation.
Oh, thank you.
I know it takes up a lot of your time.
Well, it's a very important part of what I was brought in to do and what the organization needs right now, and it's great to have the support of our fans and the community at this critical time.
Well, it'll happen, and when it does, it'll be pretty special.
Oh yeah, and our fan base in this community deserves it.
Yep,
we deserve
absolutely.
an amazing ballpark,
No
so we
question.
can win our 10th, 11th, 12th world championship.
I like it.
That's what we have to do here, and we'll make it happen.
Gamble fouls it. Well, you understand fans and their attachment to a ballpark, even if it's an older ballpark like this, that one of the oldest ballparks in baseball. But there's nothing like walking in, have your organization having a new ballpark.
Oh, it's very special.
Absolutely.
It is an amazing thing, and I think it'll be a great day. But there's going to be more great memories here at the Coliseum until then. Can't forget that.
Strike 3 called. Inning ends. Dave, again,
thanks so much
best
for
of
having
luck,
me,
all right?
guys. Awesome.
All right. Thanks for stopping by. Base President Dave Cavill, he's a busy man. 5-1 Mariners lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. voice remote to get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Well, the Mariners lead it 5-1. Well, we can't really blame the inning on A's president Dave Kaval. He's working so hard to get the A's a new stadium.
No, I think
he is -3 though.
Yeah, it's not a good.
He was a hockey player.
Not a good plus-minus right now.
He's a good man. I give him a lot of credit for the energy he has and the job that he has taken on, which is a very difficult deal. Try to get a stadium built, try to get a ballpark built in the state of California is not an easy thing to do.
No, especially when you're looking for help.
Yeah. But we have full confidence in him, and we think he's going to pull it off. So top of the order for the A's with work to do. So in that top of the third, Dallas, it ended up being 3 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors. That's the way it all broke down. Seager, what a play. Picked it on the short hop and throws out Marcus Semien.
Wow. Incredible hands by Seager. He fields this ball behind him, little side saddle. And this is really the only shot he has. This ball is beyond him at first step here. But the instincts take over. He's been making plays like that since he was walking.
So here's Matt Chapman. Do not have good news for you from Houston. The Astros scored 5 times in the bottom of the 8th inning. I wish I could do better for you, but I can't. So now, 9th inning coming up. The Astros lead the Angels 7-3. So it was 3-2, but the Astros started swinging it against that bullpen of the Angels. So 7-3 going to the 9th inning in Houston as Chapman is retired.
There's just no let up in that Houston lineup. That's the problem. 1 through 9, they can hurt you. Some folks on the bench come off and get after you as well.
Two outs for Lowry. Lowry struck out in the first. Good breaking ball by Paxton.
Paxton can continue to get ahead early with the fastball and breaking ball. Will continue to keep the pressure on the Oakland A's offense. I've seen them try to be aggressive against Paxton early. They don't want to get to that breaking ball combination with 2 strikes.
Up the middle, Cano shaded that way. Backhand flips to first, and Paxton has a 3 up, 3 down, shutdown inning. 4th inning coming up, 5-1 Seattle.
Features such as the MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat app today.
So it's the top of the 4th inning with the Mariners leading 5-1, and they will send up the top of their order: Haniger, Segura, and Cano. So Migden, with not a whole lot of help from his defense, through 34 pitches in that 3rd inning.
You see that good curveball from Migden. Like to see him get to that early.
Hit well to center. Laureano racing back, and he's not going to get this one. And it goes up and over the wall, and it's a leadoff double for Mitch Haniger. And let's check in with Kara, who has a couple of very special guests.
Absolutely. It's a special anniversary year, 25th anniversary of The Sandlot. A classic for any baseball fan. I've got 2 stars from the movie. We've got Marty York, yeah. And we've got Victor DeMattia. He is Timmy Timmons. Thanks for joining us, guys. Absolutely. Let's start with you, Marty. Take us back 25 years ago, 26 years ago, whenever you shot that film. Some favorite memories from being on set.
Yeah, it does feel like 26 years ago, but it's 25, and we did crazy stuff off camera. You know, we did, it's actually as cold out tonight at the A Stadium as it was in the pool scene that we actually shot. So. But it was a great time. You know, we had a great time on set. We played pranks on each other and snuck into Basic Instinct. That's one of the funny story I tell. So.
Wow, Basic Instinct looked a little young for that movie, but that sounds like fun. And what do you think, Victor? I mean, are you surprised at the legacy of this film or how well it's endured 25 years later?
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a blessing. It's so humbling that 25 years later, people are still watching the movie and passing it on to the next generation. It's everything that you dream of as an actor, that, you know, something that you do is going to resonate this much. It's really been unbelievable. I mean, we got the hats and everything. I mean, it's just like, it just keeps going on and on. It's really incredible.
It is cool. We've seen fans throughout the stadium wearing the T-shirts, you know, like killing me, Smalls. Like, you see it all, like living on to this day. We've got some photos of you guys from back in the day. Such cuties back then. And thanks so much for joining us now. I hope you're staying for the fireworks show.
Yeah, we definitely will. We're still cuties now, aren't we?
We're still cuties now. I then and now, all the same. Thanks so much, guys. Absolutely. Marty and Victor, thanks for being here.
Oh, that's great. Sandlot guys. Unfortunately, we have a scary situation here with Gene Segura.
Took a curveball, it looked like, to the nugget.
And it is definitely a curveball, and it right off the side of the helmet.
And that's right behind the ear. Oh. And then you start worrying and you see the trainer checking the neck. Start worry about concussion symptoms, blurry vision, a ringing. Good chance Gene Segura will be answering that telephone for a week or so.
So it looks like he's going to stay in the game, so that's good.
Yeah, that's a great sign.
There they are. That's Yaya on the left and Timmy Timmons on the right.
Now batting, number 22.
Phenomenal movie. If you have never seen it, I'm telling you, watch it.
Yeah,
Adult, children, doesn't matter.
Foot long, Dodger dog.
Make sure you tag us in that picture.
Bacon like a toasted cheese around here, Benny. Come on.
So Yaya, that's he just answered. That's all he said. Yeah. And Timmy Timmons had a twin brother, Tommy.
Yep. Colossus of Clout, the Colossus of Clout.
Tremendous.
It is.
Yeah, so I have the cast. So, of course, Benjamin Franklin Rodriguez, that's sort of Benny the Jet. It revolved around Ben. Hamilton Porter was the big catcher.
Great Hambino.
Who went on to become a wrestler.
You know him and love him.
Terrific. Let's see. Let's not forget about
Michael
Bertram. Remember Bertram?
Oh, Bertram, of course.
Bertram is the one who took the tobacco to the amusement park.
He's the one that looked like the smart guy.
That did not go well. De Nunez was the pitcher.
The pitcher.
Remember?
Yep. KC Stars jersey.
Kenny.
What about Michael Squints Palidors?
Yeah. I mean, Chauncey Leopardi was Squints, who, of course, made the boldest move of all. There's Corey Guerin. It's terrific. Scotty Smalls. Movie sort of revolved around the young man who moved into the neighborhood and really didn't know much about baseball. He spent a summer at the Sandlot.
Talk about one of the best brown trout hats going.
Oh man, you had to fit in with that squad.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, you were going to have to work for it. 2-2 now to Robinson Cano.
Good changeup from Mingman there.
Wendy Peppercorn, of course,
that's her lifeguard.
Yeah. Boys, they wanted to go swimming for the day.
You got to give it up to Squints. You know, sometimes you step in the box and you know you're just staring defeat right in the face, but you swing hard anyway, and that's exactly what he did.
Sometimes you fake death.
That's right. Hey, to each his own.
And he did. 2-2 to Cano. Cano drives one to center. Laureano again racing back. He's going to get back there. He's going to make the catch. Haniger tags at second. He will go to third. So Laureano racing back, and he does go back on the ball and gets there and sets up, and he did it again. This time he was just a little bit deeper.
This ball way too deep for him to be able to make a play on in terms of coming through and holding the runner at second. That's just not going to happen. You can see him intently focused, tracking all the way.
So an out for Cano, but a productive out. And here's Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz has hit a fly ball to center and he has walked. He taps that one foul. Cruz has 82 RBIs. The Mariners have 26 games left, so it's going to be tough for him to get to 100 RBIs. He's driven in 100 RBIs in 3 of the last 4 seasons, including 119 last year. And he's not feeling all that great.
He might have caught that one off the back foot.
And Nelson Cruz led the American League in RBIs last year with 119. Full shift on the right side, wide open.
Showing the pop as usual is Nelly. 3 homers last 7 games. 2 of those over the last 4.
And Lucroy asked for time. Eight hits in the game for the Mariners. A little bit inside. So it was the final now. The Astros with a big comeback in the bottom of the 8th inning. They beat the Angels 7-3. We'll give you some goodies on that game in just a little bit. So the A's will have to come back just to keep pace with the Astros. And now with that Astros win, the A's are 2 back. Mariners are 7.5.
That's what makes this time of year so exciting. We mentioned scoreboard watching quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
As charged. You're paying attention not only to your club, other teams that are going to impact the positioning, the status of yours.
Cruz somehow waited and just got a piece of it.
Yeah, that's a It's a good job by Nelson Cruz to fight that curveball off. Knew he wasn't going to be able to handle it with any sort of authority, but battling nonetheless.
Segura, he is a stolen base threat. He's got 20 this year. He's been thrown out 10 times. Fair ball. Chapman fires the second for one. Throw back to first. Not in time. Run scores.
Well, it's a good effort by Chapman. Trying to get the 2-ball. See him playing back. It's a big hop from Nelson Cruz. If that ball's hit any harder, there's a good chance the Oakland A's are able to roll that up.
So give Cruz his 83rd RBI, and here's Denard Span. Span has had a good ball game. He has walked, he has singled, and he has scored twice. And the first pitch is low.
You can see Denard Span, a very simple approach. Yep. Foot down, a leg kick. Short to the baseball. Does a good job of battling within the AB.
He used to turn that front foot in, like it was almost pointing at the catcher. And it actually looked quite uncomfortable. I don't think he's doing it quite as much.
Well, no, and if you watch Kipe, right before the pitch is delivered, watch his hips. You'll see a shift in weight in his hips from front to back.
But remember how that remember that it used to almost point at the catcher, and he's not really doing that so much anymore.
Right.
But you're right. There is a visible shift.
Yeah. Check his hip right there.
He's always been a almost no stride guy. Somewhat of a unique hitting style.
Just as he sees that pitch ready to come, he'll shift that weight. And this is just an effort to be able to stay on the backside.
Lowry's got this one on to first, and that will do it. Another run for the Mariners. And it's now 6-1 Seattle as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Highlights first. Hey, weekdays, Greg Papa, Ray Ratto, Kelly Johnson bring you the happy hour. Also available to listen live and as a podcast. NBC Sports Bay Area. Bottom of the fourth here at the Coliseum. Good fans. They're going to have a good time no matter what.
That's right.
But they would probably prefer to see a little A's comeback here. It's got to start at some point. Davis, Piscotty, and Pinder against a pretty good pitcher in James Paxton.
Not a bad place to pick things up here. KD looking to continue things. Got himself a knock last night. RBI single. Big Maple has thrown the ball very well early on here.
Looking for his 11th win of the year.
He's had some really good starts this season. Remember the no-hitter earlier this year up in Toronto.
He's got a no-no.
It was actually a Maddox type, 99 pitches in that complete game. No dicer.
Well, his start on May 2nd against the A's was awesome. 16 strikeouts in 7 innings. He left with a 3-0 lead, and the A's came back and won the game.
That's right. He lost that game. I believe it was Lowry and Canna.
Yeah. So he is rolling along right now. Hey, how about this? Let's shift gears. You're a college football guy, right?
You know it.
That's the A's #1 draft pick this year, Kyler Murray. Check him out. He is the quarterback for University of Oklahoma. I'm thinking his routes on fly balls will be a little bit better than this, but on the football field,
probably slightly more efficient.
Is he exciting or what? Check it out.
Check out the arm.
He can chuck it
the
too.
The hose type in stride. That's right.
Is that great or what? So we're gonna keep an eye on him each and every Saturday afternoon.
Look at that.
209 yards passing, couple of touchdowns, 23 yards rushing. So an easy win for the Oklahoma Sooners. They are ranked 7th in the country. And as the plan goes, he will play 1 year of college football, or 1 year this year, and then he will concentrate on baseball as the A's #1 draft pick. He's fun to watch.
He is. It was exciting. I'm being honest when I tell you I was holding my breath.
Well,
every minute.
We all hold our breath a little bit when he starts running around.
During that run, yelling at the TV, slide, get out of bounds, get down, throw it away.
Oh, man.
Don't hit him.
He's a nice young man, very confident. You can tell he's been a terrific athlete for a long time. This was the 15th of June, and there he is. He took BP with the Athletics. He looks good in the green and gold. Not a real big kid, but strong. And I mean, not very tall. Segura has it. Segura flips it across, and Piscotty is out.
But you got a good look at the mobility, and as you mentioned, the athleticism. That's going to play in the outfield, no doubt about it.
So those are his numbers in college. He had 10 home runs. Played some last year, but Oklahoma had a pretty good quarterback last year. Can you imagine, though, that there has to be some type of mental adjustment for him, though, when he goes from what's going on Saturday afternoons in the fall at a university like that, where there's 80, 90, some places 100,000 people either cheering for you or cheering against you. I mean, it's got to be an unbelievable adrenaline rush. Oh, he's going to go to the minor leagues, and there's going to be 600 people there. There has to be some type of adjustment there, right? I mean,
well, I think for me, I want to believe what that allows young guys to do is really focus. You're not worried about outside distractions. You're not worried about the glitz, the glamour, the lights, the hype.
Because there isn't any.
There's none. You want to, and as far as I'm concerned, all of the drawbacks that are highlighted in minor league baseball, those are all motivating factors for me. You know, we have a saying in the game. We have a saying in the minor leagues. You don't like it, play better, or play worse and go home. But those are your two options. If you don't like it, play better, or maybe go home. But those are, I mean, it's not being cutthroat. That's not being cold-hearted. That's just the reality of this game. That's the reality of this business. And you can try to sugarcoat it, and we say this as well. You can't play this game on milk and cookies. You just can't do it. So toughen up, get some rhino skin, and don't worry about the fact that there ain't 90,000 people screaming your name in Boise, Idaho.
That's right. It's not going to be a big crowd in Beloit, Wisconsin. Nothing against Wisconsin, of course.
Go A's.
Donate 200 club-themed Starlight gowns, which replace traditional hospital garments with high-quality, comfortable, and brightly colored gowns for children undergoing treatment. Learn more at mlbcommunity.com.
Top of the 5th inning, Mariners with a 6-1 lead, and with that in mind, we see Corey Guerin, his combined numbers with the Giants and the Rangers, 57 appearances, 3.51 ERA, 51 strikeouts in 51 innings.
You mentioned Kipe was with San Francisco, made his way over to Texas towards the beginning of July. While with Texas, 2.53 ERA. Opponent's batting average sub 200, 176, so was throwing the ball well.
And he will get the 5th inning. There's a strike. But with it being pediatric cancer night, Dallas, started to say I wanted to say hi to a young man, 11-year-old Cal Miller, who is unfortunately has cancer. And we mentioned Cal a couple months ago, but he is back in the hospital for another round of chemotherapy. And he's a fighter, and he's a huge A's fan. And we just wanted to let Cal know that we're thinking about him, and we know he is a fighter and he's tough, and get through this round of chemotherapy and get back home.
That's right, Cal. Keep swinging hard, buddy.
So that's as we said when we mentioned Cal a couple months ago. It's just not really fair. But we're thinking about him, and maybe the A's can give him a little comeback here. So a strikeout for Corey Guerin.
Now batting.
That's right. Our man Cal looking to wipe out the big C like Corey Guerin here. Wiping out Ryan Healy. Slider down and away.
Well, that's his best pitch. A real hard slider. Can be tough on right-handed hitters.
Well, you see just here early on with the fastball. Not going to light you up. And it's a combination sinker slider. Throwing that slider 39% of the time. 162 average against that pitch. So that's the moneymaker, Kipe.
Kyle Seager with the fly ball to center field and a base hit. Good pitch there. Oh, maybe a changeup.
Taking a little off. That's it. See, they're not a ton of separation as far as velocity is concerned.
Tried it again, and this time Seager watches it drop just a little low.
He's trying to tunnel that pitch out of the same spot as the fastball. You make the effort to do that with all of your pitches. And triple up here.
And the count remains 1-2.
And there's some things that pitchers can do to aid in the reduction of velocity as opposed to just trying to slow the arm down. I know for myself, you can change the grip, you can manipulate thumb position on the baseball, create extra drag, but on the mound with your feet, with your lower half, more times than not pitchers drive off the backside through your pitches with the changeup. That pitch lends itself to being able to just sort of pivot on the backside and rotate on the backside instead of drive that pitch through the target. Arm speed stays the same, but you just don't have the backside power coming through.
Another foul ball down the first baseline. Zunino will be next here in the top of the 5th inning. Shift on and ball right to Lowry, and it played perfectly. So the shift works there. And that's 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
Number 3, Mike Zunino.
And now Zunino will hit. Zunino with the strikeout and a fly ball to center field. Herman caught last night. Zunino was behind the plate on Thursday night. Pretty good movement. So you get that pitch and then that hard slider. It's a decent combination.
Well, and he's a guy who I talk about creating intersections or creating X's on both sides of the plate, and that's what you can do with that sinker slider combination. Starting out of the same spot, one takes a left turn, one takes a right turn. And that's what I'm talking about right there. He's gone back-to-back pitches. That sinker in. Now you can throw that slider down and away. Back to the sinker.
Driven to left center. Laureano's not going to get it. Bangs off the wall. Zunino digging for second, and he's got a 2-out double. Hit number 9 for the Mariners.
Well, Zunino just gets the head out, drops it, meets the sinker right on contact. And that's what you do against sinker ballers. You're anticipating where this ball is going to end up, trying to meet it at a spot. And Zunino showed up right on time.
So that is double number 12, and here's the 9th place hitter, Ben Gamble. Ben Gamble had a big hit in this game. It came in the 2nd inning. It was a 2-out, 2-run double. He's brought a lefty, Danny Coulombe, in to face him. Gamble does not always play against left-handers, but he hit one in a gap in right center, and it scored Span and Healy, and it gave the Mariners a 2-0 lead. Bounces this one. Marcus Semien has it. His throw, not in time. Gamble really hustling down the line. It's going to be a base hit.
There's just a slight bit of hesitation on the part of Marcus Semien here. Just a little bit of trouble getting this ball out of his glove.
Number 17, Mitch Haniger.
You said it, Kite. Gamble running hard out of the box. It's just a hustle infield knock.
So now the base hit puts runners at first and third. 2 outs for Mitch Haniger. First pitch to Haniger is low. Mitch Haniger's 1 for 3. He doubled and scored in the 4th.
Extends that 12-game hit streak. That'll be 13 now for Bay Area native.
There is a strike right on the outside corner. So Haniger now 4 for 13 in the series. 2 singles, a double, and a homer.
It's a big AB here for Corey Guerin. Opportunity to get out of this unscathed.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, and it'll be a stolen base for Ben Gamble. So now a pair of runners in scoring position.
Pretty good jump
yeah,
here.
That's pretty good.
Yep. And Corey, no shot.
Good take by Haniger. That's the slider. See a lot of right-handed hitters chase that. Haniger did not.
Well, he's not going to give in. And that much you got to respect. He's going to make you hit his pitch.
And that hit him. So now the bases are loaded, and Segura is going to step up. And Guerin was ahead in the count. So
Number 2.
dangerous Gene Segura steps up, a single, a fly ball to center, and he was hit by a pitch.
Well, for Corey Guerin, you see that low arm slot, low 3/4, borderline sidearm. If you're not careful at times, you can slowly start to creep under that ball. The sinker flattens out. You start to get more east to west or lateral movement than you do any depth or downward action on the sinker. And I think that's what happened there against Haniger.
And that pitch is high to Segura. I think Guerin's one of those guys, if as a hitter, if you can lay off, you got a shot. Because a lot of the swings and misses he gets are pitches that end up out of the strike zone.
Right.
And that one hit up the middle, and that's a base hit. 1 run scores. Laureano's throw to the plate is late. 2 runs score. And that makes it an 8-1 Mariners lead. So Gene Segura does it again. A 2-out, 2-run single.
Well, fastball middle up. And the hit machine likes what he sees. Choked up off the knob. Good back control from Segura. You don't lead the NL with 200+ hits a few years ago by mistake.
Yeah, he can throw out some base hits.
He can roll the pole, no doubt.
Not going to walk a
Now
lot.
batting, number 22, Robinson Cano.
So inning not over yet. Here's Cano getting some more action out in the bullpen. Hey, you got a new guy. Kiefer. Dean Kiefer, left-hander. First pitch to Cano is a strike. Robinson Cano had a base hit. That was in the 3rd inning. He scored a run. That was the 3-run inning for Seattle. Bounced foul at the plate. So Guerin jumps ahead of Cano 0-2. He's trying to finish him off. That's a run support for that guy tonight. It's only the 5th inning.
It's been a long half inning though, Kites.
Right. He looked cold, didn't he?
A little chilly.
He looked really cold.
Bay Area briskness could stiffen up those joints.
Absolutely. Cano, left field, and Pinder on the dive, and he makes a beautiful catch. So Chad Pinder saves a run, but the Mariners get a pair. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It's now 8-1 Seattle. Trip 2018, one season, 30 stadiums. It looks like they have one more to go.
How about that?
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That's a heck of a summer.
That would be fun. You know what would be fun is planning it.
Yeah.
Sit down in maybe January or February. Look at all the schedules.
I bet you would have fun planning that. I would have fun going with you if you
would
planned
plan it
yeah.
with me. Come on.
What do you think the last ballpark is they've got to hit?
It's interesting. If they got one more to go,
Yeah, I mean,
where are they from?
I think that's a bit of information you need. But
I mean, it could. I mean, the Giants are home. It could be.
You got to knock those two out, right?
Maybe tomorrow they go across the bay. That's possible.
The rare dual Bay Area homestand.
That's true. I mean, that's just an educated guess. I would believe they do have a month yet.
Yeah, you know, I think you plan it out, you get it knocked out, you enjoy the last stretch run.
That's true. Go back to the ones you really like.
Yep.
Leadoff walk for Laureano.
That's where it starts, Kai.
First baseman
Chris Hatcher back in the big leagues as he starts to throw. And Mark Canha will hit for the second time. Canha has knocked in the A's only run. He did it with a ground out in the second inning. And he drives one to left. And that baby is gone. So Mark Canha with his 15th home run of the year, making the score 8-3.
Heater from the Big Maple, and the Canha man does not miss. Up top, 94, foot down, head down. All aboard. Next stop, Pound Town.
He hits that high pitch pretty well, doesn't he?
He can get to it, especially against the lefties. 285 on the year against lefties for Canha. 12 homers.
So 12 out of his 15 against lefties.
That's feasting.
Yep. 0-1 the count to Lucroy. And now 0-2. Lucroy struck out in the second inning. So home run number 187 on the season for the Athletics. Trying to get Lucroy to chase that breaking ball, and Lucroy has a couple of times.
Well, if you're the Oakland A's right now, you'd like to put that feather in your cap by ruining the night of James Paxton. He's had a good couple turns through the lineup as of now. But if you can grind and battle and get him out of there maybe after 5, make this the last go round for him, stretch a few more across, might be in business.
Well, 76 pitching. Remember, he has not pitched in a big league game in a little while. A couple of weeks. And the high fastball, Lucroy missed it. Strikeout number 7 for James Paxton.
Now batting shortstop.
Fastball up.
Marcus Semien.
So now to the top of the order, Marcus Semien. Interesting splits. James Paxton.
Yeah.
What do you think? Left-handers are hitting .326 against him. Right-handers, .202. What do you see that makes those numbers work?
I see James Paxton being deceptive with the fastball. And he pitches up in the zone with the fastball. He does a good job early creating downhill angle on the fastball as well. But if I go back to that game early May, just before his no-hitter, that game against Oakland, 16 punch-outs, he threw 80 fastballs, 26 swing and misses.
Yeah, that's
on the fastball.
Extremely high number. Just on the fastball.
Just on the fastball. 26 swing and misses on the fastball. It's a swing and miss here on Simeon's slider. Get your calculator, Kite. We're going to pound out some numbers with StatCast here on the long ball from the Cannon Man. 108 off the bat, 30-degree launch angle, high in the sky. 413 feet up into that left field area.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. 2 away here in the 5th. Two 2-0 to Matt Chapman.
See how tough it is, guys, with upper level velocity. 96 down and in. Could have been called a strike, but cutting across the zone, not an easy pitch for Zunino to get underneath and stick.
Chapman on 3-0, taking all the way, and it's in for a strike.
That's a good look at the difference between a catcher expecting 95 down and away as opposed to 95 in.
And that one misses. Paxton not happy as he walks his second man this inning. So 3 walks total in the game. So he threw 21 in the first inning, it's a fairly high amount, and 21 here in the 5th. Now he is not out of this inning just yet. So he's sitting at 86. That's Dallas and I before the game.
Yep. Clear the cobwebs.
Get up from that position.
Second baseman.
I typically have to help you up out of the splits.
Yes, you do. Yes, and you're a good broadcast partner.
It's the little things we do to get ready.
This is where you strike, Dad. Come on, baby.
So here's Lowry. He's trying to creep back into this thing. Lowry swings and misses. Want a change up now?
Looked like it. No, actually, this is a curveball. First pitch curveball. See Jed. Jed's probably sitting dead red on a heater, looking to ambush.
Yeah, it's funny when you see Jed Lowry swing at a pitch, and he's got a very good eye, swing at a pitch that is that much of a ball, especially very early in the count. He's got to be guessing, looking for something.
Especially off speed, like you said. Off speed, down, out of the zone. He's way out in front, way ahead. He's got one thing on his mind, that's damage, ambush heater.
And that one just missed inside, 2-1.
Well, and you can see what I mean by deception, the way that Jed Lowry took that pitch, almost flinching at it right here. Like decision-making time snuck up on him, and that's the spin rate at work. James Paxton. Good numbers on the heater.
Lowry went after that one, and that was in on him just a little bit. So 2-2 the count, sitting at 90 pitches now. dirt.
Great block by Zunino. Slide behind on the knuckle curve. Three-two count. Chapman will be off with the pitch.
There he goes, and he missed high. Another walk. That's 3 walks in this inning. If you want to get back in the game, the right man is up.
Got some familiarity here. Take it back to last year. Late September, Kipe. KD with a little Oppo Taco. Fan makes a heck of a snag out there in right center. Just good energy all around at the Poly that night.
First pitch to Davis is inside, and now there is action out in the Mariners bullpen. Jason Bradford is up and throwing. Two and oh. Paxton looks like he's running out of gas.
Yeah, you can see him. He's taking a couple deep breaths and has been extremely errant in fastball location. And I mentioned it a little tongue-in-cheek, but that last half inning, a lot of downtime for Paxton. Talked about him maybe stiffening up a little.
And he does not look, well, he has a couple of strikeouts in this inning, but 3 walks. Zach Duke is the left-hander. Swing and a miss. 2-1.
Horsepower. Plain and simple.
And now 3-1. On deck is Stephen Piscotty.
I'll tell you right now, Paxton leaves this 3-1 heater middle up. I got a good feeling we'll see 3 left turns from Chris Davis. James Paxton can supply all the power for KD here. Simple approach, take it the other way.
And Chris Davis went around. It would have been ball 4. So a full count.
Well, as a hitter, you see fastball. Eyes get big, you get excited.
Chapman at second, Lowry at first. They take off, and the pitch, it's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. So the A's get a couple of runs thanks to Mark Canha, his 15th home run of the year. 6th inning coming up. The Mariners 8 and the A's 3.
mobile. And the story here tonight for the Oakland A's has been just a few defensive miscues that the Seattle Mariners have been able to capitalize on. A couple fumbles in the outfield, some cutoffs that weren't as clean, as efficient as we've seen in the past, and the Mariners have just been able to take advantage.
So the new pitcher for the A's here in the top of the 6th is Chris Hatcher, back in the big leagues. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Numbers for Hatcher as he faces Nelson Cruz. Cruz had a RBI back in the 4th inning on a fielder's choice. Astros came back to win their game tonight over the Angels. Again, 7-3. It was a 5-run 8th inning. Bregman homered again. 26 home runs for Alex Bregman.
Just continues the tear, huh?
Yes, he does. He's having a terrific season. The Astros started a rookie making his major league debut, Josh James. 9 strikeouts in 5 innings. So the Astros get their 83rd win of the year. Cruz takes high. Yankees beat the Tigers 2-1. Tanaka got his 12th win, or his 10th win, excuse me. So the Yankees win, and they got 2 hits. Gleyber Torres with a 2-run homer, and that's how they got their runs. He's got 22 home runs.
How about that?
Swing and a miss. So Hatcher strikes out Cruz. 1 out. Let's check out Kara.
Fans, check out this delicious looking video from earlier this season. The A's held their first inaugural town cook-off. I hosted the event. Dallas was on the judging panel. 4 chefs competed and only 1 could win, and that man was Nelson German of Alamar Kitchen in downtown Oakland. And because he was the winning chef, he won the rights to serve his winning dish here at the Coliseum. And now, fans, it's your turn to taste it. So come on out to the game on Monday, September 3rd. You can try his winning dish. I believe it was a stuffed burger. It's going to be for sale for $10 outside the treehouse. All the proceeds benefit the A's Community Fund. Bring your credit cards, credit card only. And it must have been a delicious dish. Dallas, how can you describe it? Cheesy, melty, gooey, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was, Car, it was mouth-watering, and I know that's cliche to say, but as I was watching him prep that food, I felt like my Great Dane does when I've got a steak on the grill, just salivating.
Drooling.
You know it, and I could not wait. I could care less. I had no regard for the mouth burn. Just give it to me.
The 4 dishes were all pretty compelling, though, so I think there were a couple that could have done really well as ballpark food, but I'm glad to see Chef German as the winner. It'll be great to see him back here on Monday night for sure. So get your tickets, athletics.com/pinstripes, because, of course, the Yankees are in town. So Labor Day, come out here and grab a delicious, mouth-watering stuffed meatball, as Dallas describes it.
Oh, wow. Wish I would have been there.
It was incredible. I'll have another one for you, Kai.
I was
tell
going
you
to say,
about
could
it.
we eat it in the booth?
I feel like that's something that,
during the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's booth friendly for sure.
That's very nice. 8-3, the Mariners lead here in the 6th inning. Pinder coming in. Pinder's got it. So Denard Span is retired, and yes, the Yankees will indeed be here. So we mentioned Gleyber Torres, right? The young second baseman having a great season. Starting to see these great award arguments now. And you have the Ohtani corner for Rookie of the Year, and you have the Gleyber Torres corner for Rookie of the Year. I think they're probably the 2 favorites. What corner are you in?
I think if we're just talking about those two individuals,
I don't think there's anybody else that's a real legitimate candidate, or am I missing something? I probably am missing somebody.
But you think about Ohtani having not been on the mound. He's done a great job at the plate for the Anaheim Angels. But I think the candidacy takes a hit just a bit.
Maybe a Gold Glove there. Probably. Chapman. You got your Gold Glove candidate right there. Terrific play by Chapman. Bottom of the 6th coming up.
Minivan. Test drive one today.
See how much fun they're having. They're in the treehouse. Scores 8-3. Not a great night so far for the A's, but doesn't matter.
You got to be careful out there too. You end up growing a mustache on your ear.
You've been out there. Could happen. Buchter throwing in the bullpen. The new pitcher for the Mariners is Jason Bradford. 5-0, 3.23 ERA. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts. Jason Bradford. He's been back and forth quite a bit this year between the minor leagues and the big leagues.
Well, I think that's typical as we have started to see teams across the major league landscape utilize the 10-day DL, utilize the bullpens down in AAA as just a mere extension of the big league bullpen. You know, a lot of times guys come up, they'll give you multiple innings, burn themselves for a few days, you make the moves.
So Nick Vincent is now up, the right-hander, joining Zach Duke, who has been up a couple times now. High fastball, and Piscotty chased it. So that's out number 1. There's the numbers for James Paxton. He finished with 98 pitches. 2 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So with that Piscotty strikeout, the A's have now struck out 11 times in 5 1/3 innings. We both have a lot of red on our card.
Yep. I mentioned the swing and miss on the fastball alone from Paxton tonight. And frankly, in his history against the Oakland A's. He's got the swing and miss recipe.
So 1-1 the count to Pinder. Pinder a double in the second, a strikeout in the fourth. Red Sox beat the White Sox in Chicago 6-1. The Red Sox get their 94th win of the year. Rolling along. So they have a 7.5 game lead over the Yankees. They also have the best record in all of baseball.
Feeling pretty good about where they're at right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to be just fine.
Yep. They'll make it.
The Rays beat the Indians 5-3. Snell got his 17th win. He's pretty good. Denard Span gets over there, and he's got it.
Snell has been outstanding for the Rays.
Filthy stuff. 17-5.
Now batting, center fielder.
I mean, the curveball slider from the young lefty, aka Snellzilla, as he's known.
Yeah, he looks like he's 15 years old.
He does, huh? But he will carve you up.
First pitch to Laureano is low. The Red Sox and the Yankees have the top two best records in all of baseball. The Astros are third. The A's are fourth. Chicago Cubs with the fifth best record, and then the Indians with the sixth best record. That one hit Laureano. Running up and in. He seems to be okay.
Two-seamer gets away, just catches him on the forearm there.
Now batting, first baseman.
Time now for the Chrysler drive of the game, and this is the long ball from the Cannaman. Get into it off the lefty.
So now he steps up against the right-hander Bradford. And that one hits Canna off-speed pitch. You don't see that very often, back-to-back hit by pitches, and I think this got Canna in a bad spot, like right on the elbow.
Yeah, I think it might have caught him a little higher, Kipe, on the tricep, but might have still caught some of that funny bone there, and ain't nobody laughing.
So 2 on 2 out, and we are going to get a pinch hitter. It's going to be Matt Joyce. So Joyce is going to hit for Lucroy. And Scott Service is coming out. And he wants the lefty. So Joyce will face Duke when we come back. So it was going to be Matt Joyce, but then Scott Service countered with the lefty. The veteran Zach Duke came over to trade from the Minnesota Twins. So Bob Melvin says, Matt Joyce, come here.
Yep.
Fegley's going to hit. So Matt Joyce is what they call burned.
That's right.
Meaning they used him, but they didn't really use him. But once the guy is announced into the game, he's in the game officially. So Matt Joyce.
Good eye, Matt.
Got close to the plate.
Good
so
eye.
here's Fegley. So close.
Fegley hitting 227 against the Southpaws on the season. 308 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
Goes after the first pitch and grounds it to short. Side retired. A's strand a pair. 7th inning coming up. It's the Mariners 8 and the A's 3. Bat, homer. He was traded from the White Sox the day before to boost the A's roster for their postseason push. Again, that was 2014. Adam Dunn, the big fella, pretty good career.
Talk about some pop.
Yeah, he could hit 462 home runs. He walked a lot. He struck out a lot. And he hit the ball out of the ballpark a lot.
He hit the ball into the river out there in Cincy a lot.
Big man. He was an A for a very short time. So it's the top of the 7th with the Mariners leading at 8-3. Ryan Buchter will take over. Buchter making his 41st appearance, 3-0, 3.07 ERA. Buchter is the 7th pitcher of the night for the Athletics. There will be more.
He was probably a little excited for the calendar to turn to September. Get some left-handed friends down there in the bullpen.
He's been on his own for quite a while. Keffer and Coulombe, 2 lefties called up today. Pitches in first strike to Kyle Seager, who's 1 for 3 in tonight's ball game. Seager is 2 for 10 in the series. That one is hit hard to right, but Piscotty's there, and Piscotti grabs it. So that is out number 1. So the Mariners have 26 games left. The A's have 25. That's after tonight. And the Mariners with 15 home games, 11 road games. They need a win streak. The A's just trying to hold them off.
Well, and I think you can sense the Mariners understanding that they are at a very important part of their season.
Absolutely. Canna grabs it. And the Mariners just finished a month of August where they went 12-16. The A's countered with a August record of 18-9, which was second best in the American League. So that's where the A's have increased the lead. They've caught the Mariners and shot right past them, and a lot of that work was done in August.
That's about two teams heading in the opposite direction.
Athletics since the All-Star break, 26-13. Only the St. Louis Cardinals have been better. Cardinals have been red hot. Cardinals are now the #1 wild card team in the National League. A month ago, nobody really thought much about the Cardinals.
And their young rookie pitching staff has done a wonderful job.
They got a bunch of young guys that are just dealing.
They've got their new skipper lined up for the next 3 years as well. He got extended, and I thought that was a very significant move for the St. Louis Cardinals. They make this big push on the heels of having some pieces moved around, some transition at the top.
Gamble slaps one toward left. Pinder spinning around, and Pinder makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down inning for Booker. We have reached the 7th inning stretch. 8-3 Mariners.
Toyota, designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Xfinity, X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Cresco, your #1 choice for tool and equipment rental with 19 stores to serve you in Northern California.
Fans enjoying the 7th inning stretch. 8-3 Mariners lead. Each team has won a game in this series so far. And the new pitcher is Nick Vincent for the Mariners. He faces Marcus Semien. First pitch is a strike. Changes in the outfield. Guillermo Heredia comes into the game. He takes over in center. Haniger slides over to right. Nice crowd tonight. 28,760 in the house. Like to see that. Looking for something to cheer about.
Looking for some early fireworks. I think that's safe to say. can get her cranking down there. Saw Nick Vincent the day before yesterday. Tossed a 1-2-3 ninth inning. He runs one upstairs here. Marcus Semien.
Those are scary.
Not fun. No intent there.
Segura's got it. Quick throw to first is in time. And it's out number one. Check out these hats. You're killing me, Smalls, which is probably the most famous line from the movie Sandlot.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
It's a good looking hat.
Good looking hat. Couple double dabs to celebrate.
They cut Smalls no slack in that movie.
They hammered him.
Oh my God.
Hammered him.
You know what? He hung in there, man. Give him a lot of credit.
Hey, it's all. We see it happen all the time throughout the course of the season. You mature, you learn, you earn your stripes, you take a few on the chin or the eye. You know, but you just slap an old ribeye on it, Kipe, and you keep it moving.
That's right. But who hasn't used that phrase in their lifetime?
It's everybody.
You're killing me, Brady.
It's transcendent.
That is the theme tonight for the fireworks show. The movie Sandlot, which is enjoying its 25-year anniversary.
It's always really cool how they set the fireworks to the soundtrack, to the music.
So 2-1 to Chapman. Chapman, a little pop-up just behind the Mariners dugout. Now Chapman is 0 for 2. He walked in the 5th inning. Another foul ball back. That was a fastball right down the middle.
Good pass by Chappie there. Two looking to protect, but still trying to take advantage of anything middle. You better get it in there.
Another foul ball. Into the right side. Paxton went 5. Bradford 2/3. Duke at the final out in the 6th inning, and now Vincent. So 4th pitcher for the Mariners. 11th pitcher in the game.
Well, we were bracing ourselves for this. We knew what was coming.
Yep. Strike 3 on the outside corner.
That's a great pitch.
Yep.
Nick Vincent, just a painted heater away. You can see Zunino doing a good job of bringing it back over, presenting that pitch, giving Adrian a good look behind the dish.
So 2 away. Every A's hitter has struck out at least once, except for Mark Canha. 12 strikeouts now for Mariners pitchers. Ted Lowry's 0 for 2, strikeout, ground out, and a walk.
We saw the Oakland A's try to assert themselves early in the ball game against Paxton, try to get to the fastball.
toward the left field line. A very long run for Span, but it looks like he's going to get there. He does. Side retired. Nick Vincent with a 3-up, 3-down inning. Time to move to the 8th inning.
Off as the A's take on the Pinstripes, and they open up a 3-game set here at the Coliseum. Matt Chapman, KD take on the Bronx Bombers. Grab your tickets to this K-Series starting Monday at athletics.com/pinstripes. That's athletics.com/pinstripes.
Well, it's been a while. We saw the Yankees in New York way back in the middle of May. Some changes for both teams since that time, where the Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the A's. Seems like 4 years ago. J.B. Wendelken takes over. Wendelken had a very nice outing on Thursday, 3 shutout innings. So he's back out there for his 7th overall appearance.
When you talk about
more action for Laureano, he's been running around a lot tonight. He gets to that.
Talk about guys coming in and having an opportunity to really establish themselves, especially down this stretch. All important playoff push. You want to leave the skipper with something to remember, and you got to believe that that outing for Wendelken definitely opened some eyeballs.
So here he'll face Gene Segura. 2 more hits tonight for Segura. Segura came into tonight's game 4th in the American League in hitting, behind Betts, Martinez, and Altuve. He's not going to win the batting title. Well, maybe he will win the batting title. Maybe not this year. He could, though. So that's 3 hits for Segura.
Take you back to the 4th inning here. Scary moment. He wears the hook off the dome from Mengden. It's scary. It's right around that ear flap, right behind the ear. You worry about a concussion. You worry about, obviously, Segura answering that telephone for the next week, like I mentioned. Going to have a buzz going on.
So here's Cano, who's 1 for 4. Looking at the American League leaderboard, Dallas. JD Martinez leading in home runs and RBIs. Of course, he's tied with Chris Davis for home runs.
Yep. The answer, Kipe, is no. I don't think he'll win the Triple Crown.
You don't?
I don't. I think Mookie Betts will eventually outshine him in the average department.
Yeah, he's Betts, again, this is coming into tonight, has an 8-point lead in the batting average, and at this point in time, that's a fairly significant margin, just because guys have so many at bats now. The numbers don't go up or down very much.
And I know Chris Davis hasn't been on the tear as of late that he was on, but I've got KD somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 homers.
He'll get hot again at some point soon.
So I got JD coming in second there. The RBIs,
he's got a 10 RBI lead over Chris Davis, 114 to 104.
and I think that might be the area that he outlasts the competitors.
All right, so you'll give him that one. Lowry drops it, picks it up, throws to first. He was going to go to second, and he ends up getting the out at first. So Segura is at second with 2 outs.
We can see Jed anticipating, pivoting, and making that throw. Segura, good runner, into second. Going to limit that window of opportunity for mistakes from Jed. But like a true pro, make sure of one. Make sure of one. And that's what Jed does.
So 2 away. Here's Cruz. Nelson Cruz with an RBI tonight, 0 for 3. Also has walked and scored a run. Roll toward the far end of the A's dugout. Day game tomorrow. Edwin Jackson, Felix Hernandez is your pitching matchup.
A couple of salty vets.
Yep. Jackson 4-3. Jackson or Hernandez 8-12. Monday, with the Yankees coming to town, it'd be Trevor Cahill and C.C. Sabathia. How about that? So there is the matchup tomorrow. See, Felix Hernandez with 26 appearances, 25 starts. Remember that one relief appearance was against the Athletics. And then he went immediately right back into the rotation. Toward Canna. Canna makes the catch. So a runner stranded, and we are going to the bottom of the 8th. Still 8-3 Mariners. Summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 8-12-0 for the Mariners. 3-2-2 for the Athletics. Paxton went 5. The A's started Liam Hendricks. He was good in the first inning, then gave up a couple of runs in the second. The A's then, well, it was going to be, I guess you could call it a bullpen game, but I think the best case scenario was to get Migden in the game soon after Hendricks and have Daniel Migden go 4, 5, maybe even 6 innings. But Migden was not sharp, and he didn't get a lot of help from the A's defense. So now the A's have used a whole bunch of pitchers tonight.
Well, you know, and now that we think about things, we've had time to sort of reflect. Hindsight being 20/20. You go back to the outing for Liam Hendricks. 12 pitches early. Worked very quickly and efficiently through that first one. There's a good chance Daniel Migden was under the impression that he'd be in that game come the second inning. Well, that wasn't necessarily the case. So now you think about being up, moving around, having played catch as a starting pitcher, something you're not necessarily used to. And now Liam Hendricks finds himself back out on the mound for that second inning. So what does that do? That pushes your preparation back just a touch.
And we saw Migden
on the mound,
standing on the mound, and then going to sit down.
Exactly. And so as far as mindset goes, for a starter who hasn't really been in a position to be in a bullpen and be up and be down and be up again, those things factor in. Those things play a part in the preparation. And you just never know how it affects a guy mentally.
I think that's a fair way to look at it.
Because you can account for all the disruption and all the delay that you want, but if it's just not something you're familiar with handling, it can provide a hurdle.
Two-one pitch is driven to right field and hit well. Haniger looking up, and that baby's gone. Number 40 for Chris Davis.
Number 40 on the year for the Crusher. Tell me when to go. 40 water, make it happen, KD.
So 3 straight 40 home run seasons for Chris Davis. Another home run to right field. He's got 15 home runs the other way.
Just let it get deep.
So now it's 8-4. Now Chris Davis in 2016 hit 42 homers. 2017 he hit 43 homers. And that was number 40 here in 2018. So only 2 players in Athletics history have had 40 or more home runs in 3 consecutive seasons. Whew. Jimmy Fox and Chris Davis. That's it.
Double X.
That's it.
That's a very, very short list.
Hits the bag, bounces up in the air. That means it's a fair ball. So Piscotty has a single.
Talk about KD using the entire field. There ain't a park on the planet that can hold this man. 94 at the top of the zone. No big deal. We got that club in the bag. KD says, time to take me a little vacation. All aboard. Next stop, Pound Town.
You know, they say a hitter is supposed to hit if you hold the baseball up right in front of you. And you want him to hit from the middle of the ball to the inside of the ball.
Correct.
And if you think about it, you're like, wow, that's hard to do. But if you watch Chris Davis hit, that's exactly where he hits the ball.
They want to hit it middle, they want to hit the inside, and they'd love to see the lower half of that baseball
and there
as a hitter.
That gets your backspin.
That gets your backspin, that gets you to stay inside.
But if you just think about that, you're like, wow, really? But then it makes sense when you see somebody do it.
And on the opposite side of that, Kipe, as a pitcher, what you're trying to do, the reason you hear guys talk about creating a downward angle or working downhill is in an effort to force that hitter to have to make a decision on that baseball. If he can only see the top half of that ball, there's a good chance you get that ball beat into the ground. They take some poor swings. But otherwise, that thing looks like a beach ball. And KD will pound it.
And Matt Olson is pinch hitting for Pinder. So Pinder was 1 for 3, and now Olson hits. 1-1 the count. Alex Colomé is the new pitcher for the Mariners. It's 8-4. Olson pops a foul back. We have a good play.
Great snag. One hand with the seeds in the brew. Look at this. Chappie, you're gold? I see your gold. And I raise you.
Pretty good concentration.
We'll work on the high fives.
Olson on the 1-2 pitch, swings and misses. So that's 13 strikeouts for Mariners pitchers tonight.
It's a good devastating slider from Colomé at 90. Working in under Ole.
So here's Ramon Laureano. Laureano struck out, walked and scored, and been hit by a pitch, so he's been on base a couple of times. Up the middle, and that's a base hit. Hard hit ball. Well, the crowd is starting to get into a little bit, and the A's are one hit away from making this very interesting.
Well, and the laser wasted no time getting after it. First pitch fastball, first pitch he likes.
So 2 on, 1 out, and here's Canna.
Cap, I think we're watching a young man, Ramon Laureano, get very comfortable right before our very eyes.
Good call. Canna's knocked in 3 tonight. Oh, sat on the inner part of the plate. That's a pitch to hit for Canna. It was an off-speed pitch, maybe a slider. Something that just kind of hung in the middle. Mero Petit now throwing for the A's.
And you got 2 ball clubs here who have made it a point to come back, win those close ball games, make them close ball games.
Well, it's 2 teams that are certainly the A's very good at coming back. It's also 2 teams that are pretty good at shutting the door.
That's right.
A little bit low. 2-1. Good take by Canna. Check out this note. Records when leading after 8 innings. The Mariners are 64-0. The A's are 66-0. There are 2 teams in the majors who have not lost this season when leading after 8 innings. A's haven't lost when leading after 7 innings.
Something's got to give.
Of course, the Mariners have both these teams have the dynamic closers. Two-run pitch, fouled right at the plate.
See, they're trying to go away with that slider here, and Colomé has just been unable to execute down and away. You called it, Kite. A couple of mixers early in the AB here. Canada hasn't been able to take advantage of.
Closers up.
trouble getting on the same page there. Our friends from StatCast crunch the numbers. 105 off the bat, 27-degree launch angle, and 380 feet worth of oppo taco.
Low, 3-2. There's a 3 straight 40-homer, 100 RBI seasons in American League history.
How about that?
Look at the names on there. Babe Ruth's on there. That's it.
George
That's all I'm going to say.
Herman Ruth.
That's it. I'm not going to read any other names. Georgie's on there. 3-2 pitch. Not close. And the bases are loaded. Diaz, the closer. Is he ready? Scott Service is checking down there. So we're going to get a pinch hitter. It's going to be Fowler. So this is the Fegley spot in the order. And now we're going to get a visit from the pitching coach. Alex Colomé has gone homer, single, strikeout, single walk. He's got himself in a world of trouble.
Well, he wasn't able to execute the sliders against Mark Canha. Canha, while unable to take advantage, was able to spoil those pitches. Worked a great at bat. Got the free pass. Though the Mariners have a 4-run lead, they've got the A's have the tying run at the dish. No bigger bat in the game right now than Fowler Colomé.
So here is Fowler pinch hitting. Bases loaded, 1 out. $18 pitches for Colomé. He's only got 1 out. First pitch is a strike right on the corner at the knees. Good pitch by Colomé. Piscotty's at third. Laureano's at second. Canha is at first.
And there's that good down angle fastball we talked about, forcing the hitter to get to the top of that.
Good take by Fowler. Diaz, the closer, is ready. He is just standing now out on the bullpen mound. Fowler had a good rip, fouls it left side.
Remember, Kite, Fowler flashed a little bit of pop while here with Oakland. 6 homers and 182 at bats. Fighting that off. So if Colomé were to make a mistake here middle, Fowler might surprise you.
1-2 pitch, got it.
This is dirty.
Little slider.
Yeah. Just...
Scott Service is coming out. So he wants his closer, Edwin Diaz. So the A's scored once, and they got him loaded.
the mound. But earlier in the week, Scotty Service getting them ears lowered. Oh, the skipper, he held up his end of the bargain. He's going to get that haircut a la Diaz. The lines, the designs, and everything that comes with it, Kite.
Yeah, that's what happens when your closer gets to 50 saves. You get your hair cut like him.
And you said Simeon hits a grand slam right here. You're shaving your head, so.
And there's a line drive left center field, base hit. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. The ball is kicked in left field. Canna's coming around, and Canna's gonna score.
Well, no waiting around here for Marcus Simeon. Diaz coming in, trying to spin the slider for strike 1. Not going to happen on Simeon's watch. And you can see D-Span having a tough time knocking that thing down. Hard hit up the alley. The big Marines got the windmill cranking. Scotty around, Laureano around, and Marcana hustling all the way from first base. And the A's are back in business here in the 8th against the Mariners stopper.
So it goes as a double, 2 RBIs and an E7, allowing Canada to score. And now a hit could tie it. And it's 1-1 to Chapman. And Diaz hasn't thrown a lot of bad sliders this year. That was one of them.
Just a mixer in the middle.
Swing and a miss, 98 miles an hour. So look at those numbers, folks. 108 strikeouts in 64 innings, 50 saves, and a 1.97 ERA. 1-2. And a good take by Chapman. That's the slider.
Coming in at 91, and you could see the frustration and the scowl on Diaz's face.
Simeon, the tying run at second. 2-2 pitch. Just missed. 98.
98, and Diaz wanted it.
And he got a fastball at 97. Chapman strikes out. The A's score 4 times in the bottom of the 8th inning, and we have ourselves a brand new ball game. Almost 8-7 as we go to the Bottom of the 8th inning. We got a major league debut. That's Bo Taylor. He was just brought up, third catcher, and Bob Melvin needed him. So major league debut for number 46, Bo Taylor.
Welcome to the big leagues, Bo.
As he will catch Jeurys Familia. 8-7 in the ninth. Denard Span swings and misses. Familia, 8-5, 17 saves. He's been good with the A's as expected.
He's been outstanding. When you think about Bo Taylor right now, big league debut.
Heart pumping a little bit.
First task at hand. Just knocked down 95-98, Sankin out of Familia, and then we're going to run out the train.
Strike 3 called on the inside corner. Denard Span is retired to open up the 9th inning.
Well, four-seamer top of the zone from Familia. Not that heavy sink or heavy run you're used to seeing. Instead, he goes four-seamer up top. Locks up Denard Span. Can I help you, Denard? No, thanks. Just looking.
So 1 away, and here's Ryan Healy. Healy's had a good ball game, 2 for 4. Couple of singles, knocked in a run and scored a run. Healy's had a good series. He is 6 for 12 in this series.
Swung the bat well, some power.
He's knocked in 4 runs with a homer. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Diaz obviously will stay in the game. He'll face Lowry, Davis, and Piscotty. Swing, miss. It's a good diving fastball that Familia throws. See right-handed hitters, it just kind of buries it down and in.
Well, Kaiba, it looks like it ricochets somewhere around 56 feet and then just takes a hard right turn. And you saw it last night, Nelson Cruz, a guy who's able to get to some pitches. He didn't look comfortable.
Yeah, that is a swinging strikeout. We get a foul tip, and he just barely got a piece of it. He didn't get a lot of it. So another 1-2. Here it is. Off the foot of Healy. All right, let's tell you who's pitched tonight for the A's. You ready, Dallas? Are you counting?
Yep.
Okay. Hendricks, Coulombe, Pagan, Migden, Guerin, Hatcher, Buchter, Wendelken, Familia.
He ain't done.
9. We knew it was coming. Another pitch in on the hands of Healy, and he rolls it foul all the way down to the bullpen.
And not your conventional approach out of the gate, but not quite how the Oakland A's saw this shaping up either. Would have loved to have got a little more out of Migden, but nonetheless, find yourself here in a 1-1 ball game with an opportunity.
Healy with a take, and a count 2-2. Chopper right to Simeon. It's a nice hop, and that's the second out. So here's Seager.
Number 15, Kyle Seager.
So Seager hits with the bases empty. He's 1 for 4. Full shift on Chapman, playing a shallow shortstop. Olsen, Familia, let's go to the bottom of the 9th. Can the A's pull it off against Edwin Diaz? We'll find out when we come back.
For the Klasha KD doing work. And we mentioned the list he joined. It's he and Double X Kite.
I think he went in to get his magic back.
Oh, Wonder Boy. Pick me out a winner, Kite.
Yep. So here it is, folks. 8-7, bottom of the 9th. Edwin Diaz has 50 saves on the year. He'll face the heart of the order with Lowry, Davis, and Piscotty. Leads the majors in saves. He's got 25 one-run saves. That's the most in the major. And now it's 2-0. Diaz wanted that pitch. It has been an entertaining game, especially the last 2 innings. Lowry down the right field line, but it's going to be foul. So he got just a little bit too far out in front of that one.
We're talking 96 to 99. You got to get the head out.
Diaz did not pitch in either of the first 2 games in this series. No swing, 3-1.
Tyson slider. High velocity.
Pop up. And that'll be into the seats. Lowry is 0 for 3 tonight. He walked in the 5th inning. Both these teams know that the first place Astros won tonight. Beat the Angels and come from behind fashion. And he walked it. Leadoff man's aboard in the 9th. That 3-2. I think a 3-2 slider. It really was not that close.
Leadoff walks and 2-out knocks. Both of them will get you to heaven.
Pinch runner is Franklin Barreto. So Barreto to pinch run. Here's Davis. Chris Davis homered in the 8th. First pitch is low. So we're going to get a meeting at the mound.
Well, this conversation right here, right now, is Zunino letting Diaz know we do not want to let this man beat us. We've got to be careful. We've got to make sure we execute our pitches. We do not want to give in.
One for 7 in his career against Davis.
And right now, if you're Franklin Barreto, you have got to be on your toes, anticipating ball in dirt, read the down angle. You can grab a free 90 feet.
Mighty swing by Chris Davis, trying to end it. Up there again. This time Davis laid off. 2-1 the count.
Take you back to Cinco de Mayo. KD sending everybody home on a cool Bay Area night.
There's a strike. 2-2. Piscotty. And after Piscotty, it'll be Matt Olson. Two pitch, got him. So Diaz strikes out Davis. 16 strikeouts by ace hitters.
This is a filthy slider here from Diaz. 90 with depth in the zone. It's going to be a strike anyway. It's an outstanding pitch from Diaz.
First pitch to Stephen Piscotty is right there for a strike. A's have been very good in one-run games. In fact, they've been the best team in all of baseball. 27-11. That slider that sat on the inside corner.
It's that slider that sat middle. You said, Kite, that's dangerous pitch. That thing just spins middle in.
I've always felt like guys who have really good sliders and throw a lot of them, and that's Diaz. It's hard to throw every slider perfect.
Yeah.
And they will hang one every once in a while. And I think the pitch, not that pitch, but the pitch before that, that was a hanger.
Yep.
He doesn't throw a lot of bad ones, but he threw a bad one to Simeon, and Piscotty got one to hit. Barreto, the runner at first. The 2 pitch, got him with a fastball, 97 miles an hour. So a little elevation, and with any thought of a possible slider, that makes that pitch tough to hit.
Yes. Again, his velocity on the fastball and the slider combo. 90-91 with depth and tilt on the slider. Upwards of 98 on the fastball. You've got to be ready to go.
In Dallas, that's a season high 17 strikeouts by ace hitters. Here's Olson, and he swings and misses. My book is bleeding.
Makes two of us.
Matt Olson, pinch hit in the 8th. Swing and a miss, and now it's 0-2.
Just a challenge heater.
Olson lays off that high fastball. Did he go? No. 2-2. They're trying to get him with fastballs.
Well, they're trying to get him with fastballs up, out, over the plate. And I feel like after that check swing there with the velocity, might run that slider down and in here. There it is.
And a good take by Olson. So now it's 3-2.
Well, I don't think it's going to be into that throw it 2-2, throw it 3-2 stuff. I think we're going to see a nice hard fastball from Edwin Diaz. Game time, Kite.
Runner goes, 3-2 pitch, foul straight back, just down to our left. So we'll do it again. Diaz about to throw his 29th pitch. Barreto will go. He does. And another ball fouled straight back. That's a pretty good hack by Olson.
It's a pretty good pass, 3-2. This isn't just about protection.
And that one tapped foul, and that was a slider.
This is a very good at bat from the big lefty.
Absolutely.
Chipping away at
that so far.
Chipping away at Diaz. Spoiling fastballs and sliders alike.
Great speed with Barreto, and he's taken off on the pitch. There he goes, 3-2. 97 miles an hour, and the game ends on a strikeout, and maybe that's fitting. He struck out 18 times tonight. So Edwin Diaz ends up getting his 51st save, and plenty of excitement tonight. But unfortunately, when it's all said and done, the Mariners hang on and defeat the Athletics. So time of game was 3 hours and 33 minutes. The attendance was 28,760. The final score tonight from the Coliseum, the Seattle Mariners over the Athletics, 8-7. All right, let's head to the studios for A's Post Game Live, where Brody Brazil is standing by.